We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome into Wolo and Friends. I'm not Dave Woloshin. He's out today for Yom Kippur. I'm not Jay Morgan, who you usually hear when Dave's out. He's out sick again. He was sick yesterday, out again today. I'm Bryant Dacus. Glad to be filling in for them too. With me today, Zach Boyd. Zach, how you doing this morning?
Oh, we doing all right, man.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Kind of pulled a long shift yesterday, pulling another long shift today. So you still feeling good, or
well, yeah. Typically,
tired?
Typically today these are my normal hours.
Right.
But
yesterday was a little long.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer, but you know,
push through, persevere. That's right.
You know, we're teammates over here.
That's right.
At Flynn Broadcasting. So
good teammates.
When one is down, we all pick each other up.
That's right. We pick each other up. Well, y'all had a discussion. Y'all do 5 favorite things on Wednesdays. On the morning show with Greg and Eli. And I love today's topic. It was top 5 favorite Memphis football players of all time. I put together a top 5 for myself because I wanted to join the fun. So let me run through that real quick. I hope Greg and Eli are listening because I'm sure they'll love my list. Number 5, I've got Tank Jakes. You remember Tank Jakes, the linebacker?
Yeah, I do.
When I was like 13, I think, I was like super into like making like, you know, those edits you'll see like with like football players, basketball players, like different jerseys on or like stuff behind them. Like I was super into making that, but I did not have the equipment to make it. So I would just make it on like an app on my phone. But I thought they were so cool. Not looking back on it, it was pretty lame, but whatever. I made one for Tank Jakes and I posted on Instagram and tagged him. And he like commented, he loved it. It was awesome. Number 4, I've got 2, which might make Eli mad. I know he was upset that somebody put a 3-way tie for 3 of the spots. I put Will Hudgens and Maurice Jones. Only reason they're on my list is because they were my coaches when I played at Houston.
Maurice Jones?
Yeah, he was a receiver when Will Hudgens was there. He was my receivers coach.
Okay.
He was my receivers coach. Will Hudgens was the head coach. Love Will. Love Coach Jones. Love both of them. Number 3, Duke Calhoun. I'm so glad you had him on your list.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought people were going to forget about him. Love Duke Calhoun. Number 2, Danny Wimprine. And number 1, D'Angelo Williams. I think D'Angelo Williams was pretty much on everybody's list that we read.
Yeah, it was a de facto.
He was pretty unanimous.
Person. Just to kind of recap my list.
Yeah, please.
Just 30 minutes ago. Honorable mention was Riley Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, I have D'Angelo. Number 4, Anthony Miller. Number 3, Maurice Avery, or Mo Avery, the team called him.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Duke Calhoun.
Love Duke.
And then number 1, Carlos Singleton, man.
That's a good list.
Man.
I was so excited when I heard Duke. Because when Duke was playing, I was really young. I mean, I was like, when did he play? Do you remember when he played? Like what years?
It was like 06 to 09.
So, I was 6 to 9. Yeah. And so I was like just getting into football, really like paying attention and kind of figuring out who was who. And I remember whenever Duke would make a good play, everyone would go, Duke. I thought they were booing.
No.
For the longest time, I was like, what's wrong with these people? And so I had to ask my dad one day. We were at a game, and I was like, why is everybody booing him? Like, we just got first down. Shouldn't they be cheering? He was like, his name's Duke. They're like saying Duke, but it sounds like boo because everyone's doing it unanimously.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love Duke Calhoun. There's some good names.
Yeah. Like the thing about my list, I think the underrated name is probably Mo Avery.
Yeah. No, that's
for me personally.
Name.
For me personally, that was Mo Avery. I remember my dad taking me to a game, and I think that was the year when like all of the quarterbacks were just hurt.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happened that year, but I think that was the Will Hudgens year. Will Hudgens, and I forgot who else was there. I think Arkeelian Hall he got hurt as well. And it was like, well, yeah, like the only person that we have that can play quarterback, and that was Mo Avery, and he played quarterback in high school, and so he was like, oh yeah, like, you know, he just like he went to school to play a receiver.
Yeah. But
and
now
he has to play quarterback.
Put him in there. I'll tell you. So I played for Will Hudgens for 4 years. He was the varsity coach when I was at Houston. So really only 3 years because of the freshman team. But I think sometimes he would try to show off in practice because he'd get back there and he'd just chunk it at the receivers. Man, he could throw a fastball. And I was like, you don't got to throw it that hard. Like, we get it. You played college football. You don't got to show up.
Listen, man, Will was a two-sport athlete, man. He played football. Man, yeah. Played football in the fall, baseball in the spring, man.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Then he got around a bunch of little, 17, 8-year-olds. He was like, I can show these guys. And just threw a ball
just
98 miles an hour to me.
Light your chest and your hands up, man.
It was bad. It was bad. But good times. So that kind of brings us to the Tigers this year. A 4-1 record. Looking pretty good, but some struggles, of course. What did you think of the game on Temple? Because I've heard a lot of different things about that win. Obviously, a big 21-point win, but at the same time, didn't score at all in the first half. No points. It's the first time since 2017 that they went scoreless in the first half. That was against Houston, which they made another big-time comeback. Obviously, they have Houston this week. But what were your kind of thoughts overall? Because I haven't gotten to talk to you since that game. No. I really haven't talked to you in a while. But what were your overall thoughts of that win?
I think personally, and this is probably my thought process over the last 5 games or so. This is a young team.
Yeah.
This is an extremely young team, and I get it. I understand. You're supposed to have some weapons. Seth is in his second year. You expect to make some growth. But, man, if you lost your number 1 receiver last year to the draft. You lost, a couple of your linemen as well. And then, you expect to have, this young mosh posh of kids to come in to, immediately, pick up where these upperclassmen left off from last season. So, I think, I knew coming into the season, they could put up some points, but I knew it was going to be a struggle because there has to be a learning curve for them because they're all so young.
They're all so young.
And so, it wasn't ideal to be down 3-0 at halftime, but the learning curve happened.
Exactly.
They scored 21 straight, I think, and then the pick 6 is, if I'm not mistaken, from the defense. So the offense gave you 21 in the second half. Defense came up with
I think all. The pick 6s were from the game before. I think all 24 points came from
all
the
24.
offense.
Okay, so all 24 points came from the offense, and so they end up figuring it out.
Yeah.
I think as the season kind of goes along, they will find a rhythm and they will figure it out. It's just early season struggles with a super young team.
Yeah. And
that's all it is.
I think that's a great point. I think it was Brett Norsworthy who said it the other day. I mean, I think a lot of Memphis fans have kind of been spoiled in a sense just with these last teams. I mean, they've been so dominant offensively from year to year that when they're just not as dominant, it's kind of like, whoa, what's going on? What's happening? And so I've seen a lot of that. I think I've even found myself doing that a little bit through these first couple of games just because we're not used to seeing that. We're so used to the run game being so great up until last year. We're so used to having that kind of one receiver that the quarterback can kind of go to. I mean, you had Anthony Miller over there. Then you had Calvin Austin. And now it's just kind of a receiver by committee group. And they're kind of struggling because they're all young. None of them have been in this role that the Tigers need them to play this year. So I think that's been a big learning curve as well. But I think it's been huge that the defense has stepped up, especially in these last 2 games. You know,
it's so surprising that you brought that up because I don't know. I don't know if you recall. I guess you're still in school.
I just graduated.
Oh, you just graduated
in May.
Well, congratulations,
Thank you.
I don't know if you recall during your time at the University of Memphis, but I have never seen the offense or the defense being dominant together. It's always
one or the other.
It's always one or the other. Either we have a really good stingy
mostly
defense,
the
or
offense the past couple years,
or we got a super high-powered offense. Yeah. So it's always one or the other. And I would love to one day just kind of fusion dance, put those two together and just see what type of chaos they can create. Yeah. But like you said, I knew coming into the season the defense that they were going to be the side of the field that you were going to lean on. They got the most veterans, the most experience. The secondary, you're pretty much returning everybody in the secondary. Along the defensive front, you end up getting bigger what's the big man from Ohio State from Memphis? I forgot his name.
Camonte Hamilton.
Yes, Hamilton.
Camonte Hamilton.
And then you add Cameron Jackson.
Ooh, that's a big boy, Cameron
Whew.
Jackson.
6'6", 295.
Big
Come
boy.
on, man. Come on. I think it's like hopefully one of these years it will just bridge together and we'll get a complete team. But like you said, I mean, the defense, they're holding their own.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting enough stops. They're getting enough turnovers to where the offense can at least give you something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you could see that happen towards the end of the season this year where kind of both offense and defense is hitting on all cylinders, just because I think we've seen flashes of that offense this year. It's just they can't put it together. I think Seth Hennigan met with the media yesterday, and one of the first things he said was the coaches are really emphasizing starting off fast. And when you think of the past 2 weeks against North Texas, they go 3 and out on that first possession. Silverfield tries to go for it on 4th down. They don't get it, which I think turned into 3 points for North Texas. And then last week, same thing against Temple. They go 3 and out on that first drive, end up punting. I think both of these first 2 games, you've seen the offense come out of the gates early, really struggling. And I think if that's something you can turn around, if you can get some of these weapons to kind of produce like you want, maybe get the run game going. I think it's going to be harder to get the run game going just because of the offensive line troubles you're having right now, a lot of injuries. But I think if the defense can kind of keep doing what they're doing, there's potential. When you have Seth Hennigan back there, I still think Seth Hennigan is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I mean, we have a special quarterback here. And if you can get him going with these weapons, I think you could have both sides going and playing well.
Yeah, and that's just the benefit for the Tigers of having a really good quarterback at the helm. And like you said, like I really want to get this running game going because I think we make our money.
Yeah,
I'm saying we because I am an alum. We're alums here, so
absolutely.
Not that I was a part of the team, but they make their money running the football really effective, and then playing off of that.
Yeah,
like this the last 5-6 years, just the stable of running backs that have came through the program, and they got some good backs back there. Asa can do something. Brandon Thomas, what's the kid from Northern Iowa, Illinois?
Jay Ducker.
Yeah, Jay Ducker. Like they got some guys that can run the football effective. It's just gotta find that perfect timing to everything. So
when I think. And obviously I'm not a coach, so I can't really say anything. But I do think Silverfield has really tried to get the running game going. And I think at some points it's kind of been to where I think he's doing it too much. I think he's kind of trying to force the run game to try to get it going. I think I saw times last week against Temple, against North Texas, where there were situations where he's trying to run the ball, and you end up having to punt it away because you just ran 2-3 straight times and you just couldn't get anything going with the run. I think it's going to be a challenge. I mean, we haven't seen anything really yet this season that says the run game is going to be able to get there. I think I've seen I think Brandon Thomas has looked better the past couple of weeks. Jay Ducker, I think it's more of an offensive line thing, honestly, because I don't think Jay Ducker's looked as explosive, but I think that could be just he can't find the holes. I don't want to put it all on the offensive line, but you've seen things there. I don't think you're going to be able to rely on your run game like you have in the last couple of years, but I think you could get to a point where they're productive.
Yeah. Their bye week is at the end of October, right?
I think they have 3 games until their bye week.
It's this
week, and then they play 2 road games, and that's a bye week.
Okay, because I think that bye week for them could be very beneficial.
Oh, yeah.
Because then at that point, everybody can, reset.
Do you know who they play after their bye week?
After their bye week. No, so in a month of November, so the start of November.
Yeah.
So they at home against UCF, at home against Tulsa, at home against North Alabama. Then you end the season at SMU.
So that bye week really comes at a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, right before you host UCF, who plays tonight against SMU. And then who you said Tulsa right after that?
Tulsa.
Is that at Tulsa or is that
it's home?
Okay, so back-to-back home games.
Yeah. No, you got a 3-game homestand.
Right
out
of
the bye.
Course, North Alabama. So yeah, I like where that bye game. I don't remember where the bye game came last year, but I don't think it was at a great spot. I kind of like that spot. I do think that this could be a good week to get things going on both sides of the field against Houston. I think you'll be able to throw against Houston. Houston's pass defense hasn't been great. I think if the defense can keep playing like they've been playing, Clayton Tune has – how many interceptions does he have on the season?
He's
I don't know.
Still there, man.
Man, he's still there. He hasn't been fantastic this year, as good as people thought he was. I mean, Houston was super, hyped up before the season started, and they haven't been fantastic this year. They haven't been great. I think they're 2-3 right now. But this could be a really good week. I mean, kind of a rivalry there between the two teams. There's been some really, really good games in the past. I know Gabe Kuhn was a part of a couple of those games where it was like a last-second touchdown or a last-second field goal, that big comeback. So there is a rivalry between these two teams. I do think this could be a good week to get the offense and defense going on a Friday night at home in front of your fans. I think there'll be a good showing there on Friday. So this could be the week you could turn it around before you go and play two teams that could really hurt you on the road.
Yeah, I know I'm hearing from different people about, because everybody said ECU.
ECU's pretty good. Yeah,
they said they're supposed to be pretty good.
Holton Ahlers, he's pretty good.
Yeah. We'll see. Tulane.
American's been kind of down this year, I think.
I
don't want to say down, but there hasn't been that kind of cream of the crop top team this year that we've seen in past seasons.
Well, I guess the names that people were banking on this offseason
really haven't panned out.
Yeah, so Cincinnati is up there.
Yeah, and they're a good team, but they're not what they were last year.
Yeah, so like Houston, SMU, UCF. Well, UCF is 3-1.
Yeah.
They haven't started conference play until tonight. And then Tulsa is supposed to be another good team.
Yeah.
So it's like those teams are like towards the bottom end of the of the conference. So,
but the American's always kind of like a conference where it is kind of top heavy, but then where you have like 2 or 3 teams at the top that are like, man, those are the really good teams this year. But I mean, any team in the American can hurt you. I mean, there's some good teams in the American that can hurt you on any given night. So I think there's some tough games coming up. I think I think the next 2 games on the road after Houston are going to be really tough games. So I think that's why they really need to get things going Friday night against Houston, because if they can get something, if they can kind of get some confidence in this offense, maybe some confidence in the run game before you hit the road, because Holton Ahlers is going to throw the ball against this defense that has not been great against the pass, other than getting turnovers, of course. East Carolina's going to throw the ball. Tulsa will throw the ball a little bit. And then you come back at the end of the season, you've got SMU, who is going to throw it with Tanner Mordecai. So I think this could be a good week against Clayton Tune, who is going to throw the ball, but isn't the best quarterback in the conference. I think this could be a good week for the defense. I know they have a lot of confidence because of the turnovers they've been producing, but I think this could be a good week to kind of that coverage game, that stop giving up the 400 yards to an Arkansas State or 300 yards to North Texas, whatever it was. I'm excited for Friday night. I think this could be a really good showing for the Tigers.
Yeah, a little bit of a payback game from last season. Went to Houston and got pretty much drummed.
Well, and Houston's going to be looking for a little bit, not payback, but they're going to be coming in a little mad after last week. A loss to – who did they play last week? Oh, help me. I'm blanking.
They played Tulane.
Yeah, and that was a Friday night game or a Thursday night game. So they'll be looking for some payback. They'll definitely be coming in hot and ready to play. And then, like we said, tonight, SMU versus UCF in the Bounce House. That should be a good game. I know this game was supposed to be played over the weekend, but was postponed due to the hurricane. They couldn't get it in. So they'll play tonight, and then we'll see both those teams later. So it'll be a good chance if you do have time tonight to look at both of those teams and see who the Tigers are going to face in a couple of weeks. We're going to get to a break. When we come back, obviously some preseason basketball going on. We'll talk a little bit of the Grizzlies. Last night, Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson, the top 2 prospects for the upcoming draft, they faced each other last night in an exhibition game. We'll talk a little basketball and some baseball right around the corner. You're listening to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
BetUS.com is back for our 29th year of football action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the chance to cash in on all your favorite sports. Sign up at BetUS.com or call 1-800-79-BET-US, where the game begins.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Tiger Nation, come out to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Friday, October 7th as your 4-1 Memphis Tigers take on conference rival Houston. Tickets start at just $20 and kickoff is at 6:30. Bring the whole family and watch 901's football team. Tailgate on the revamped Tiger Lane. Cheer the team into the stadium during the Tiger Walk and help your Tigers stay undefeated at home. Start your weekend off right with Memphis Tiger football. Go, Tigers, go.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics. 901-445-1010.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
Touchdown! You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Dave is out for Yom Kippur. Jay Morgan, he's also out. He's sick. So Bryant Dake is in with Zach Boyd. We talked some Tiger football in the first segment. They've got a short week. They're going to play Houston Friday night at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Are you having trouble saying the new stadium name, or have you kind of adjusted?
Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
I find myself wanting to just say the Liberty Bowl a lot, but I can't.
Sometimes.
That's not the name. It's not the name anymore.
Sometimes.
So
but
I've got to respect it.
But I gotten used to it.
Yeah.
It's like Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
It's been easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to have a lot of trouble. Kind of like, I know a lot of people are struggling with Heinz Field and Acrisure Stadium.
Oh yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's not going to change.
Yeah, that's a little different. Or what they renamed Staples Center to?
Crypto.com.
Whatever.
Arena.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But that's another topic. So last night we didn't have any football on a Tuesday night, but there's some basketball on. There was some baseball, obviously, as they're coming to the finish line today for the regular season, which I looked at the schedule, and there are no night baseball games tonight. All the games are either happening, I think there's like 1 or 2 games at 11 or noon. All the games are at 3 o'clock today. So if you like baseball, I guess, you'll have something to do while you're at work. I know I'll be watching it later this afternoon, all the games, trying to keep up with all of them. But last night, like I said, we had some basketball, and one of the probably most intriguing things on TV last night at 9 o'clock, we had the new G League Ignite playing the Metropolitans 92, I guess is how you'd say it, which is a French team with Victor Wembanyama, who is the projected number 1 overall pick. How much of Victor have you heard about before, obviously, Twitter blew up last night about him?
I heard a little bit about him. Like the fact that he was, 7'5". Mm-hmm. They said he had a handle, he could shoot. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I mean, he wouldn't be the first one like that we've seen a 7-footer with a handle that could shoot. And then clips of him came out on Twitter because I was kind of half paying attention to the game, half
I feel like
not.
That's what a lot of people were, yeah.
And
it's hard to pay attention to an exhibition G League Ignite versus a French team.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, I don't keep up with a bunch of 17-year-olds.
Right.
Like I really don't.
I have plenty of better things to do than watch that.
don't.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't. And then the clip started to surface on Twitter, and I'm like, good grief.
Kid's unbelievable.
Good grief, man. Like he walking the ball up the court, Brian. Like
kid's unbelievable.
Like what are we doing? Like what are we breeding these kids with?
He's unreal. He is unreal.
Like God.
I was reading about him because I've heard he's been a big name for a couple of years. Obviously, people have been looking ahead for his draft. And last night, obviously, since this was the first time he's been in America, a lot of people talking about him. Twitter went crazy. So a lot of these journalists and stuff who have kind of covered him, reported about him, they were putting out stories or bringing up old stories they had. And I think it was Mark Stein. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Mark Stein. Had written a piece about him a couple weeks ago. And this guy has been the next big thing over in France since he was like 12 or 13. Like literally they talked to his agent, who's the same agent that represents like all the big time French guys like Rudy Gobert, Nicolas Batum, all those guys. And he had people telling him when Victor Wembanyama was 12 years old, hey, you got to go watch this guy, which I've never heard of such a thing at 12 years old. He was 6'11" at 13. And I'm guessing he could dunk because everybody can at 6'11", right?
6'11" at the age of
13. He's now 7'4", 7'5", whatever it is. But like I said, yesterday was his first time playing in America. They played in Las Vegas against Ignite. They fell short, 122 to 115, in case you care about the score. But Victor Wembanyama, this is a stat line. Again, 7'4". I think he's about 210 pounds. Slim guy, but obviously anybody at 7'5" is going to be slim. 37 points. 5 blocks, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. He was 11 for 20 from the field, 7 for 11 from 3, and 8 for 12 from the free throw line. This guy's ridiculous.
Like what?
He's ridiculous. And I mean, I'm talking like just kind of going around a screen, moving 3, water. And he's incredible. I think everybody should tank for this guy. And I know Jay is probably sitting at home, sick, listening, And it's like, you don't know how to scout basketball. You don't know if he's good or not. Because that's what Jay always says about me. I'll text Jay, and I'll be like, this guy is really good. Like, I watched this guy play the other day. He's really good. He'll be like, you don't know basketball. You don't know what you're talking about. Because that's Jay. It is what it is. I get it. He's a basketball coach. I'm not. But guess what? Anybody can tell that this guy's good. He can play.
Yeah, the kid can play.
He can play. I don't know what to tell you.
Like
you can't teach size is the saying I've always heard. And you surely can't teach 7'5" with a jumper.
Like pull up 3.
Pull up 3.
Water. Step back 3. Water.
7 threes. I saw.
Like,
if this was an NBA game, which obviously it's not, but if this was an NBA game, 7 threes and 5 blocks has only happened once in the history of the National Basketball Association.
That was Jaren.
Was it?
No, I'm guessing. Because he had 7 threes against the Bucks.
It really could have been
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, but that's incredible.
But I could be wrong because KD could have done it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Jaren or KD. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Or maybe Brook Lopez.
The Block Panther. Isn't that his nickname, Jaren's?
Yeah.
The Block Panther. But he's good. I would advise, if you didn't watch last night, they're going to play again tomorrow afternoon. I think 2 p.m. also on ESPN2.
Yeah.
So I would advise you to watch it because this kid's fun to watch. I don't really know what else to say. Scoot Henderson is supposed to be the number 2 pick. He's plays for Team Ignite. He had 28 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 11 for 21 from the field, and 2 for 3 from 3. So not a bad night either from Scoot. I mean, these two guys were just going at each other. It was so fun to watch.
You can't go wrong with either one of them. Like, so far.
No, and it's so funny because I think the conversation of not tanking has really come up in the past couple of years around basketball. It's like, we don't want people to tank. You shouldn't tank for a top pick, yada, yada, yada. Like, sitting players, all this stuff has been a big discussion recently in basketball. I think multiple teams are going to tank for both of these guys. Because you can't go wrong with either.
Oh, yeah.
They're so good.
No, because who the top 5 teams so far that could possibly get them?
Oh, let's see. The Spurs will probably be in there. The Jazz will be in there.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City might be in there.
Somehow they're going to weasel their way into.
Well, heck, with their 14 first-round draft picks, they'll find a way. Magic might be in there again.
The Rockets
could be in there. Oh,
Pacers.
Man. Think about if one of these two go to either the Magic, Rockets, really even Thunder. I mean, those are 3 super young teams with a lot of talent on them. That can be fun to watch. I'm excited. I think both of these guys are really good. So like I said, go and watch that game tomorrow because both these guys are really special. Other preseason NBA news, nothing much. Like I said, it's preseason. I don't want to take too much into it, but the Knicks did beat the Pistons last night, 117-96. Kind of the new look Knicks with Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett all playing together for the first time. Randle had 15 and 6. Brunson had 16 and 5, and Barrett had 21 and 5. So they looked good. Jay Ivey looked good on the other side with 16 points, 4 rebounds. Jalen Duren only 2 points, but 14 rebounds. Do you think we kind of saw the Knicks were like a sneaky good team 2 years ago? Not great last year. Do you think they can bounce back with Brunson in there at point?
No.
Really?
No.
Do you think it's a coaching issue?
It's a coaching issue. It's a front office issue. It's just the Knicks as an issue.
They're the Knicks. They're going to Knicks.
They're an issue. Like, it's like the issue, the problem that I have, like at the time when the Knicks made the playoffs, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you finally made the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's fine. This offseason, this upcoming offseason, you got to improve your team.
Yeah.
You got to let the young guys play.
Mm-hmm.
You got to let some of these old veterans get out the way. And guess what they do? They went to go sign old veterans. It's like yeah, like if we go get Evan Fournier, if we go get Kemba Walker, we could make a deep run. It's like no. Like I like Fournier. He was a big help to my fantasy team a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. No. Like you need to let RJ get his reps. You gotta let Obi get his reps. You gotta let all these, cause like I caught a couple of the Knicks games.
Yeah.
Like last couple of years ago, like the last 2 years at least, and I was like, okay, like quickly got something going. Like I can see Toppin couldn't do some of the things that Taj Gibson could do.
Yeah,
I don't know why Taj is getting minutes, but it's like I can see Toppin doing something like that. Obviously, you got to let RJ play. And then my boy Cam Reddish, like that's. Ooh. I mean, look. If there's one player I would die on a hill for, it's probably Cam Reddish.
Really?
Right now.
You're a big Cam Reddish guy.
I have been a big Cam Reddish guy since high school.
It hasn't been
smooth at all, and it's like he went from one bad situation to another. So it's like, man,
I like Cam Reddish. He's fine. I don't have anything against him.
Cam, like, and it's kind of crazy. Like his high school peers were like, they were saying Cam is that dude.
Like, this guy's got
Cam is that dude. Like, I don't know what y'all looking at, but Cam is that dude. And that led me to believe, like, okay, like, if they're saying that he's that dude, I believe he's going to be that dude.
He was a stud in high school, stud in college.
Yeah.
So hasn't really been able, like you said, I mean, a couple of bad situations, hadn't really been able to find his footing.
Yeah, but the Knicks as a whole, like, it's just been bad. Like, I disagree Tibbs getting Coach of the Year. That should have been Monty Williams trophy, and then this past offseason should have been Taylor Jenkins trophy. So it was a makeup call from last offseason.
So maybe we'll get another makeup call this year.
Yeah, like if we go 60 games to the Western Conference Finals, then give it to Taylor Jenkins.
Sure. I would love that.
Give it to him.
Give it to him. The other game last night that was noteworthy, I guess, Pelicans beat the Bulls 129-125. Zion in his game back. He looked good. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 for 6 from the field, and was perfect from the free throw line, which is what you like to see from a big guy, 5 for 5. I've heard a lot of people kind of nervous about Zion just because of all the injuries. I think he's going to be fine. I mean, I think we've seen when he's on the court, he's great. I mean, what do you think? I mean, are you worried at all?
No, I don't think I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous because
I think you have to be.
No. I'm not nervous about his injury. I'm saying I'm nervous about him being a beast on the court, man. Like,
absolutely.
I am nervous just a little bit, just enough to kind of like, okay, like if he comes out and he starts to tear it up on the court, then it's like Pelicans might be tough to beat, but
they could. They kind of. I mean, if things go well down there, they've got a little bit of a squad.
Yeah, and it helps to trade a all-star player for like 10 picks in the next 5 years or something like that. I'm just making up numbers, but it helps the rebuilding process when you could trade a really important piece, a piece that is, that everybody wants. Like AD, everybody wanted AD at the time.
Yeah.
And then you just add on to your pick and the Lakers pick. It just sums up to like, okay, Zion, you got CJ on the team, you got BI. I mean, yeah, they got a nice squad. And then Herb Jones proved me wrong last year, and Trey Murphy kind of came on late, so they could be spoilers this.
They could
be spoilers this upcoming season.
Well, I kind of like that they're not really necessarily at the same spot the Grizzlies are at, I don't think, in terms of youth and trajectory. Maybe they are, but I do kind of like that regional-ish rivalry kind of brewing. I mean, they've kind of owned the series in the past 3 or 4 years, but I kind of like that with Zion and Ja being the number 1, number 2 picks in those 2 years. You're going to see them a lot during the season. So I wouldn't be mad at all if the Pelicans kind of have a good squad this year. Kind of a good little rivalry for the Grizzlies. Speaking of the Grizzlies, they're 2-0 in the preseason.
Hey.
You asked me when I walked in this morning, is the hype for real? Do you think the hype's for real? I'll turn the question back on you.
Oh, you had to turn the question back on me.
Well, you asked it.
That was my question for you.
You're obviously thinking about it.
Well, personally, yes, I think the hype is for real because I just believe in continuity and like letting these young players play.
Yeah,
and especially young players that have been through the wars so far.
Yeah.
Like you've already got a taste of the playoffs 2 straight years. You won yourself a playoff series. And now you're looking to get more. You're expecting to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe that they can do more. Like
Yeah.
I was at the media day a couple weeks ago, and listening to all the players and kind of like, especially like the main core players, and even like some of the role players, the reserves, they all had like this same mentality about, like we definitely got to build on last year into this year. There is a certain mindset. They're still a fun bunch,
sure,
because they're gonna cut up regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a collective mindset out of all of them that we gotta turn up this year again. We gotta come out hot.
I think one part that definitely helps that, and I think we've seen it the past couple of years, is just these guys are all about the same age. I think they all genuinely like each other. I think they kind of kick it with each other outside.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really good group that are all kind of on the same page and all have the same common goal. One player that played a lot in that second game, didn't play the first game, Santi Aldama, he looked good. Do you think he started that game Monday night? Do you think they roll him out game one as Jaren's kind of replacement for the time being?
So there's two different lineups. Personally, there's two different lineups. So I do believe Santi, if he performs well these next 3 preseason games, or however many preseason games that they're going to allow him to play, I think he is your starter at power forward. But if they want to bring him off the bench, which either or is fine, I could see a scenario where Zaire gets to start and just let Dylan play the 4.
Okay, so put Zaire at 3 and then put Dylan at the 4.
More like put Zaire at the 2.
Yeah.
I mean, positions.
It doesn't really matter.
It really don't matter.
It
really don't matter. Positions really, like whether you're playing a power forward or not, it really don't matter. It's just about scheme and everything.
Yeah.
But I do think those two combinations, I think, could be beneficial.
Yeah.
But then you still got floor spacers. Even though I'm not sure how well Santi shot the ball well from 3.
I didn't write that
I'm not
down.
really.
I think he was. I know he made his first 2.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good from behind the 3 line.
Yeah. So I think you got floor spacers in both of those lineups. It's just a matter of preference.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose between which lineup that they're gonna roll with on day one, they might just let Santi just start.
He was 4 for 5 from 3 Monday night.
Yeah, so they might just let Santi start, because that's pretty much their MO anyway, is to, we'll start a player that nobody really or expects to start or whatever, because I think a lot of people really expect Brandon Clark to be in the starting lineup.
I think they kind of like his role off the bench.
I do too, and then he doesn't shoot the 3 well, and so that kind of like packs the paint a little bit, or it shrinks the floor for Ja.
Yeah,
and he can't really facilitate or move, and be creative. So I think Santi gets to start on opening night,
and I hope Santi does well. I mean, I think obviously the Grizzlies moved up to get him in the draft, and then kind of stashed him away in the G League. Had a really good season in the G League last year that I don't think a lot of people noticed because it was in the G League. I think he averaged like 21 or 22 points a game with about 5 rebounds. So a really good season last year. Looked good in Summer League. So I really hope, if they do roll him out, that he can be productive and can be a good part, because I do think he has some tools that can be useful for the Grizzlies. So it'll be interesting to see. I know we have a couple more preseason games before they kick off against the Knicks, right? First game against the Knicks?
Yep.
At home on
home opener.
ESPN?
Yes.
Nice. So that'll be fun. But we need to get to a break. On the other side, we'll talk a little baseball. Playoffs coming up. Wild card starts on Friday. We'll look at who's playing who. You're listening to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's a hot summer's day. You just finished cutting the lawn. Maybe you're getting off the golf course. You need something to refresh you. I've got just what the doctor ordered. In fact, It's called Poppy's Pills. Poppy's Pilsner. That's the best, and it comes from Grind City Brewing. It's light, crisp. It is that refreshing Pilsner. They say it's ultra crushable. Remember how Taco Bell stopped selling the Mexican pizza? Everybody lost their minds? Poppy Pilsner is the only thing that can ease that broken heart. Now, that came from an eyewitness named Sarah. Some people say it's sexy. It's light, it's refreshing, it's local. And for me, well, it just doesn't get any better than that. Ultra crushable, built for speed. It's available in 6-packs or 15-packs. You just ask your favorite retailer about it. Best enjoyed ice cold. It's what the doctor ordered. It's Poppy's Pills from Grind City. When you hear the words healthy aging, do you think of vitamins, eating veggies? What if I told you it's just as important to spend time with friends, to have a purpose that gets you up each and every morning? At AmeriCare in Memphis at South Breeze, Collierville, Schilling Gardens, and in Olive Branch at Olive Grove Terrace, we believe that for healthy aging, where you live really does matter. In their smaller, more intimate community, it's easier to make friends, join fun activities, share good company at mealtimes, and feel right at home. Not only are these ingredients for healthy aging, they're part of something extra. AmeriCare's proactive approach to wellness. What does that mean? AmeriCare works hard to keep you healthy and strong so you can keep doing what you love. They even offer a special program designed to help reduce the risk of falling. When you maintain your health, you set a course for aging well and living happier. At AmeriCare, Memphis South Breeze, Collierville, Schilling Gardens, and an Olive Branch at Olive Grove Terrace. They can help you do both.
I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Are you tired of running out of hot water? Now is the perfect time to replace that old energy guzzling tanked water heater with a new energy efficient tankless system. Never run out of hot water again and save money on your energy bill every month. I'll even give you $250 for that old tanked water heater.
License number 64210, 64365, EAS MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
You need concrete coatings, materials, and supplies in Memphis fast, and you get this answer? Oh yeah, we got that stuff, I think, but it's in Wisconsin, so you're going to have to wait a few days for delivery. Why wait? Get your concrete coating and supplies now at TSS Supply. Everything that you need for coating concrete at TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road. And you're not dealing with just any supply store. TSS Supply specializes only in concrete coatings, materials, and supplies, all in one place. Most products are delivered same day or within 24 hours. Looking for a particular item, you need large quantities, or just have general questions, call them at 901-729-0565. Or you can email your question to Brad at tsssupply.com. All month in October, TSS Supply is celebrating its grand opening with 10% off your first order. Come by TSS Supply on Wednesday, October 5th for their official grand opening party. Sports 56 will be broadcasting live, plus have free food and prizes. TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road.
As the leaves change, leave the hiring to Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It's football time in Memphis, and if you or someone you know is thinking of selling their home, it sure better be home selling time in Memphis. And just like you may have a favorite team, favorite coach, or favorite players, you may not have a favorite real estate agent. If you don't, think about drafting me, Sheldon Rosengarten, with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I always tell people they need to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to find out who will be the best quarterback of their home selling team. Have you heard people say that when you want the job done, call Sheldon? Find out why my award-winning, highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option can mean the difference in whether you sit or sell. Also find out how to take advantage of our worldwide relocation network. Call or email me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's Sheldon Rosengarten at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now and go Tigers.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
The Who. Welcome back to Wolo and Friends. Last segment of the day before John Harden comes on for Sports 56 Happy Hour. We have a text from 901 Steve, a couple texts from 901 Steve. He said, people are talking about the Tigers are looking good at 4-1, and they should be happy with that. But that's what most fans expected at this point, to be 4-1. The problem is because they haven't played anybody except for Mississippi State, and we lost that game. So fans should be are concerned about the tough games coming up. If we lose 5, we're looking at another 6-6 record this year. I think that's fair. I mean, I think we kind of knew that the non-conference schedule was a little soft, maybe. I mean, there are some good teams in there. Obviously, Mississippi State's going to give you a great test every year. But then an Arkansas State team can test you. But some good games coming up in conference play. I think when we were talking about earlier, I think that's why this week's game against Houston is such a good game, just because you can try to put things together against a good Houston team. I mean, I think the record does not reflect accurately about the talent on that team. I mean, I think they have good players on their team. I just don't think they're putting it all together this year. So I think Friday night could give you a good, I know a lot of people have said this is the litmus test. This is to really see where you're at in the season. Against Houston, I think that's a good point because, like I said earlier, I think East Carolina's going to give you a good test. I think Tulane's going to give you a good test. Then you have that bye week, and then you have UCF, which is obviously going to give you a good test. So some good conference competition coming up, but I think you got to be happy at 4-1.
Yeah. Again, like I don't expect the Tigers to beat a SEC team every year.
No.
Like even watching that game, keeping in touch with that game against Mississippi State, like you was very much was in the game. It's just the third quarter got away from you a little bit. Like the end of the second, head into the third quarter, got away from you. So if they could just take what they learned from those 2 quarters and like bring that into Houston, then like they could. You might see a different result than it was against Mississippi State.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the biggest thing is what we kind of talked about earlier is that the offense has started pretty much every game pretty slow. Take away Navy, they started pretty good against Navy. Mississippi State, that first half, you had that super long rain delay in there. I think about 2-hour rain delay that really kind of hurt you. Just really couldn't get anything going in the first half. You saw them pick it back up in the second half. Arkansas State, you had some things going, but you couldn't really stop them on defense. And then in the second half, you really get it going. North Texas, can't get anything going early. Second half, it's different. Temple, you don't even score in the first half. And then second half, you score 24 unanswered points. So I think if you can come out hot, if you can come out ready to play, if you can start the game with a touchdown pretty much, or with points at all, that could be a good start, and I think that's what you're really going to look to do against Houston on Friday. I know that they've really been trying to emphasize that is starting fast because I think that can make all the difference in the world. Because I mean, if you're the defense, let's say Tigers get the ball first, which I think they have in the last 2 games, you go down, put some points on the board. That defense doesn't feel like, hey, we got to stop them. We got to make sure they don't get it.
Like every drive is a crucial.
You're playing with a lead now.
Stop.
Exactly. So I think the biggest thing is look for them to start hot against Houston Friday night. And I know we'll have some more talk. I know Dave will talk more about it the next couple of days. So I don't want to spend all the time on a game that's happening 2 days from now. But I do think it's interesting. Zach, before we get to MLB real quick, I wanted to bring this up earlier, and I completely forgot about it. Are you as much on the – I know you're a Cowboys fan like I am. Are you as much on the Cooper Rush train as I am?
You know, I love Cooper Rush. I appreciate everything that he is doing for the Cowboys.
Permanent starter?
Dak is QB1. That's end of discussion. Dak
Been a
is
lot
QB1.
of talk about it.
It's
your owner, our owner, has even hinted at a quarterback competition.
Well, see, Jerry's trying to sell tickets. People got to understand.
He knows what his job is. He does it well.
He know exactly what he's doing. All he's doing is selling tickets, selling the idea like, well, maybe Cooper Rush. Basically, what he's trying to do, he's trying to make the other NFL owners go spend money on Cooper Rush this offseason so that he can get a comp pick in return. That's all he's doing. He's just building this up. They got a backup quarterback that's 4-0 in all 4 starts. Like, yes, like come sign him so we get a comp pick from him. Like, that's all it is. But Dak is the guy.
He's been awesome, though. Cooper Rush has been really fun to watch. I've been contemplating buying Cooper Rush jersey just because I feel like that'd be a fun jersey to have in the next couple of years. But it has been fun. I know right after that injury happened, I was like, season's done. I mean, we're going to be like 0-5 the next 5 weeks. And I was wrong. Cooper Rush has looked really good. Obviously, he has a lot of help around him. That defense is stout. Probably one of the best defenses in the entire league, I think, with Micah Parsons
easily,
and Trevon Diggs, all those guys on the defense. But quickly, before we get out of here, I do want to talk a little baseball. The postseason bracket was set yesterday after a couple wins, a couple losses to kind of get everything in order. So we'll start on the AL side. The wild card, it's going to be Tampa Bay, who's the 6th seed, versus the Cleveland Guardians, who's going to be the 3rd seed. Seattle Mariners, they're going to be the 5th seed. They're going to take on the Toronto Blue Jays, who's the 4th seed. Over on the NL side, the Phillies, they get the 6th seed. They're going to take on the number 3 Cardinals. That means me, Brett, Gabe, we have almost a hatred to Greg Gaston this week. Isn't that what that means? Because Greg Gaston's a Phillies fan. So we kind of have to dislike him this week.
I mean, you don't have to hate him.
It's war.
You just root against
playoffs.
him. You just root against him, just a little bit, you know?
If I see Greg, I don't know if I can talk to him. I mean, it's war. No, I'm kidding. I love Greg, and I hope they play well, just not well enough to beat the Cardinals. Yeah. And then in the final wild card game, we've got the San Diego Padres versus the New York Mets, who let the division title slip away from the Atlanta Braves over the weekend. So it should be a fun weekend in the wild card. All games kick off on Friday, so it will be a fun, long day of baseball. Those times haven't come out today. I believe they'll come out later tonight since all the games are at 3 o'clock are the latest games today. Also, Aaron Judge hit his 62nd home run last night. Cool, I guess. I didn't really care that much. No more live look-ins, though, during college football, so that's nice because that was awful. What would you do if you, just real quickly before we get out of here, what would you do if you caught that home run ball? Would you give it back or ask for money, or what would you do?
Give me your best offer, and then I'll come back with a bigger offer than that.
I agree. I mean, I think I'd give it back to him ultimately. I think if it was a bigger home run than this is, I mean, this is like, it's cool. I get why but it's not Barry Bonds.
Well, yeah, it's not, but it is the home run record.
Cool, yeah.
It is the home run record on the AL side. So
I get it. But
that's important.
That's important. I'd probably give it back, hoping and praying that I got like a ton of stuff in return. Because that'd be fun, like some autographs.
5 years of season tickets.
Exactly. Like, I need something good in return to just give you this ball back. But I try to do the right thing and give it back. But that's all the time we have today. For everyone here, for Dave Woloshin, for Jay Morgan, for Zach Boyd, I'm Bryant Dacus. Next up, Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. We'll see you tomorrow.